The 10 most boring Family Guy episodes that'll put you to sleep faster than NyQuil. Number 1. Season 12, Episode 16. The episode begins when Peter accidentally receives Quagmire's mail and, being his usual curious and oblivious self, decides to open it. Inside, he finds a shiny leather whip, which Peter immediately assumes is a fun new toy, rather than something Quagmire would, well, use for entirely different purposes.
Dad, I don't want to do this.
Stay still! Okay, that's pretty cool, too.
Hey, Dad, that's a cool whip. I thought you couldn't understand me!
He starts running around town cracking the whip at everything in sight. Trees, random pedestrians, and even Cleveland, who just sighs as Peter smacks him on the butt and runs off giggling like a kid who just discovered caffeine.
Given your racial heritage, it seems like something you might want to keep an eye out for.
Grape soda, Graham.
I know this is very risky, but the upside is so good, I'm taking it.
Meanwhile, at the Griffin house, Brian is watching TV when Stewie walks in, looking as serious as a scientist about to announce a new element. Stewie asks about a blood brother ritual, and Brian, ever the wise yet wildly irresponsible dog, explains that it simply involves cutting your hands and mixing your blood. Instead of warning Stewie about how dangerously unsanitary that is, Brian just shrugs and agrees to do it. They perform the ritual in full dramatic fashion, as if sealing an ancient pact, except one of them is a dog and the other's in diapers.
I mean, I really feel the bond, Brian. I feel like we're closer now. You know, more connected, more intertwined.
Yeah, I guess in a way we are.
Hey, are you blood brothers with Meg because you ate her tampon out of the trash?
No, that's something else.
The next morning, Stewie wakes up, looks in the mirror, and screams. His face is covered in red sores, the unmistakable sign of herpes. Horrified, he rushes to confront Brian, who's calmly eating breakfast and instantly denies any responsibility. Dogs don't get herpes, he claims, with the confidence of someone who's absolutely lying.
I mean, like what if it wasn't called herpes? Like what if it was called Boppo? Huh? Oh, I got a little Boppo. Oh, that's cute. Ah, I want Boppo. You know, my uncle was in the army and he got genital Boppo from a Saigon whore and—
Shut up! Just shut up!
But when Stewie investigates further, he finds out Chris has herpes too. From Brian. Turns out man's best friend has been spreading more than just affection. Furious, Stewie and Chris decide to get revenge. When Brian goes on a date with a new girl, the two show up and expose his little medical secret right there in public. The romantic atmosphere dies faster than Brian's dating reputation.
Ew! I'm sorry, Brian. I've got to go.
Damn it, you guys, her dad's really rich.
Wow, you weren't kidding.
Yeah.
Later, Brian discovers his Facebook has been hacked, courtesy of Stewie and Chris, and confronts them. Stewie, stone-faced, says he can't trust a best friend who gave him herpes. Brian finally apologizes and swears never to lie again. He tries to reassure Stewie that the virus only flares up under stress, which the show later proves in a flash forward of Stewie breaking out during a job interview.
So, what would you say some of your weaknesses are?
That's probably one of them.
Meanwhile, Peter and the guys face their own crisis of masculinity. When they arrive at the Drunken Clam, their beloved booth, their sacred man spot, has been taken by 3 massive guys. Peter protests, but the men just smirk and tell them to find another seat.
If you could just move back like 8 feet.
Is that my whip?
Hey!
Is that my taser?
All right, I'll just strangle him with this Hawaiian shirt.
Will you stop going through my mail?
Defeated and humiliated, the group retreats to the bar, realizing they've become spineless nobodies. Even their families start losing respect for them.
That's right, you wuss. In fact, the way I see it, I'm the man of the house now, which means there's gonna be some big changes around here.
Lois, tired of Peter's cowardice, forces him to reclaim his dignity. Peter gathers the gang, and even Joe, despite being in a wheelchair, joins in. Quagmire refuses at first, but when the fight breaks out, he dives in like a perverted Batman. A full-blown bar brawl erupts.
Hey, that was my pool cue! I brought it from home!
Oh, sorry.
It screws together, and I even have this special little case for it.
I feel bad now.
Chairs flying, bottles smashing, beer spraying everywhere. Peter even pulls out a can of spinach like Popeye, but of course, it does absolutely nothing.
Oh, God, it's all watery. You know, I almost said no chairs at the beginning.
Despite being beaten bloody, Peter refuses to give up, delivering a speech about manhood and pride, until the big guys casually reveal they're shipping out to Afghanistan tomorrow to be real heroes. The bar goes quiet, and Peter's victory dissolves into pure awkwardness.
Everyone, I declare this to be These Three Guys' Day, and not These Three Guys' Day.
The episode wraps up with two parallel stories, one about a friendship ruined by disease, and another about middle-aged men trying to reclaim respect. It sounds meaningful, but in true Family Guy fashion, it all collapses into chaos and absurdity. Every character learns a lesson they'll immediately forget by next week. This episode was rated poorly because it felt disjointed, lacked depth, and instead of being funny, it mostly just made viewers feel itchy and uncomfortable. Number 2. Season 22, Episode 3. The episode kicks off at the Quahog Flea Market, where Peter stumbles upon what he calls a priceless relic of his childhood, a classic Mr. Potato Head. His eyes light up like a kid lost in a toy store, and without a hint of hesitation, he decides to drop a full $600 to take it home. Lois, having lived with Peter long enough to sense disaster before it even happens, immediately stops him. "Peter, you can't spend $600 on a potato wearing sunglasses," she says, while Peter looks as if someone just told him beer has gone extinct.
Fine, I'll buy it with my magic beans. Those are Skittles. There's no room in this world for dreamers anymore.
Crushed and sulking, Peter wanders aimlessly around the flea market until he comes across a commercial for Harm, Homeowner's Advantage Reverse Mortgage, starring none other than Tom Selleck. Wearing a sharp suit and flashing his calm, confident smile, Selleck assures viewers in his deep, manly voice, "I would never lie to a man with a mustache." And that's all Peter needs to hear.
I'm getting my Mr. Potato Head. But that is a lot of numbers to dial.
If that's too many numbers to dial, just say, "Siri, I'm old."
Siri, I'm old.
Dialing Reverse Mortgage Company.
Without understanding a single word of what a reverse mortgage actually is, he signs away the Griffin family home for some quick cash, and finally buys his dream Mr. Potato Head. His joy doesn't last long though, when Lois finds out they've basically lost ownership of their house.
Relax, Lois. Tom Selleck made a whole video about that for the wives wearing his signature short shorts.
Hello, wives. I'm
Sold.
In despair, Peter heads to the Drunken Clam to drown his sorrows and vent to the guys. When he explains that Tom Selleck stole both his home and his faith in humanity, Mayor Wild West overhears and chimes in. It turns out Wild has a dark history with Selleck, something involving mustaches, honor, and possibly a cowboy hat. At first, he claims he's put it all behind him, but after a few sentences, he slams the table and declares, "All right, we're going to New York to punch that mustache." And so begins Peter and Wild West's bizarre buddy adventure to hunt down Tom Selleck, like an off-brand action duo that nobody asked for.
I can't believe we're going to New York City. I've always wanted to see the Twin Towers. When?
When they finally arrive in New York, they track down Selleck, but before they can even confront him, he captures them. Yes, Tom Selleck apparently owns a private prison, because in Family Guy, logic bows to comedy.
Is this because I rubbed on a lady in a subway?
No.
Because I rubbed on a lady in a bus?
No. Do you do a lot of rubbing on people?
Hey, 8 million people. We all got to fit somewhere.
After escaping, possibly by Wild West using his mustache as a hacksaw, they decide to approach Selleck again, this time by disguising themselves as extras on Blue Bloods.
Chief, whatever your character's name is from Blue Bloods, do you recognize this man?
I do. He owns the bodega on 56.
Blue Bloods.
Dressed as police officers, Peter finally gets his dramatic moment to shout, "You tricked me! Cost me my home, my money, and my faith in plastic potatoes!" After a tense standoff, Selleck and Wild West make peace. Selleck writes Peter a check to save his house, but Peter isn't done yet. He insists on one last request. I want a speaking line on Blue Bloods.
Tom, would it be possible for me to get another plate of lasagna?
That's not my call, Peter. That's Shannon's call.
It's not Shannon's call!
Meanwhile, while Peter is busy turning his finances into a bad sitcom, Stewie discovers his inner business mogul. After selling an old teapot for an absurd profit, he becomes obsessed with flipping antiques. Brian, sensing a chance to mooch off success, offers to help. Stewie agrees and teaches him the art of selling, which consists of 80% lying and 20% seductive eye contact.
Lowest I could let it go for is 20.
Would you take 11?
Well, the frame alone is worth 30.
Highest I can do is 12.
Okay, but you gotta pay me before my wife gets back from the bathroom. She's gonna kill me over this price.
Everything goes smoothly until they run into competition. Bruce, who opens a booth next door with a voice so sweet it distracts customers from the fact they're being robbed. The two sides make a bet. Whoever sells less tomorrow will be banned from the flea market forever. A full-blown business war erupts. Stewie and Brian use fake discounts. Bruce retaliates with a buy one, get one broken deal.
And this is where the lone garbage can being right by Grandma's little loft could come into play.
Sure looks like a bag of mostly full diapers and half-eaten burritos.
And that's just a bee's dream bag.
In the end, thanks to a confused old lady who thinks she's at a Sotheby's auction, Stewie and Brian narrowly win. Bruce walks away heartbroken, while Stewie celebrates triumphantly, only to immediately close his own booth because it's too exhausting. Before leaving, he lands one final blow by shouting, "This place is only 500 feet from a school," causing half the vendors, with let's say questionable backgrounds, to scatter like ants under bug spray.
Over 200 arrests were made that day. It's still known in flea market lore as Extinction Sunday. I'm Chris Griffin, and my brother and my dog left me in a very hot car.
The episode wraps up with Peter reclaiming his house, Stewie quitting his short-lived empire, and the audience collectively wondering, was this about finance, business, or just pure Family Guy stupidity? A Stash from the Past was a mildly amusing episode with some decent satire, but it suffered from a disjointed plot and the awkward choice of turning Tom Selleck into a cartoon villain. In short, this episode felt dull because instead of Family Guy's usual chaos and absurd humor, we got a slow-paced story about reverse mortgages, proving once again that the only thing riskier than Peter's decisions is letting him near financial advice. Number 3. Season 17, Episode 11. The episode opens with a dramatic previously on Family Guy recap, just to remind us that somehow Peter Griffin has become Donald Trump's press secretary. Yes, you heard that right. Peter, the man who once thought press secretary meant pressing a sandwich.
Okay, Peter, your main job here is to go in rooms before me to make sure there's no static electricity.
Don't go in there, it's not safe.
Well done, Peter.
Is now speaking for the President of the United States. After moving the whole family to Washington, D.C., Meg is the first to realize how terrible this decision is. She has to leave Quahog, the only place where people occasionally remembered she existed.
Yeah, Meg, trust me. Before long, we'll fit right in here, like a cowboy in a Chinese Starbucks.
This is the most strangest place ever.
Yee! Ha!
Oh, this ain't so different.
But fate, in true Family Guy fashion, plays a cruel joke. Meg meets Ivanka Trump, who instantly transforms her from Meg Griffin Forgotten Daughter into Meg 2.0, DC edition, complete with glossy hair, makeup thicker than the ozone layer, and a dress that makes her family wonder if they picked up the wrong kid.
That girl is pretty.
So pretty by DC standards. With Geico, you can save up to 15% on car insurance.
Wow! 2/3 of the people here are talking about me.
Things seem to finally be looking up for Meg, until Ivanka leaves her alone with Donald Trump. And in a scene that's both uncomfortable and very Family Guy, he gropes her.
And I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of your board game, and your beef products, and your fraudulent university, and... Oh my God!
Oh, please. Every president since Washington has done this.
Shocked and disgusted, Meg runs to tell her family, but of course, they don't believe her. Lois tries to comfort her, while Peter says, "Meg, you probably imagined it, like the time you said the fridge talked to you."
A wall would solve nothing.
These children have rights.
I spent $3,000 on a sandals vacation thinking that might do it. Know what it was? Me being limp on a lazy river.
Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you to Peter Griffin.
No, don't send me home to my wife.
However, when Trump tries to grope her again, the Griffins catch him in the act. Furious, Peter quits his job and vows to be a better man. Unfortunately, being decent isn't exactly in Peter's skill set.
Oh my God, President Trump is assaulting Meg! I can't believe what I just saw, Mr. President. What would your third wife, the soft-core girl-on-girl porn lady, think about this? Or the actual porn star your lawyer paid hush money to?
Trump mocks him, calling him a failure, a loser, a disgrace to American manhood. And as every Family Guy fan knows, when there's an insult, there's gonna be a fight. What follows is one of the most ridiculous brawls in Family Guy history. Peter Griffin versus Donald Trump, a fistfight that tears through the entire Washington, D.C. area.
Peter, catch! Kill him in front of me and I sex you.
They punch, kick, and destroy every national landmark in sight, from the Capitol building to the Lincoln Memorial, where Peter yells, "Sorry, Abe, it's for my freedom!"
I wrote that one. Why are we so damn divided, America?
The chaos peaks when they borrow 2 planes from the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum and crash them into the Washington Monument, turning it into a giant toothpick.
Making Neil Armstrong the first man to walk on the moon. Who knows? Maybe someone listening to this might be the first chicken to walk on the moon.
Hanging from the top, Trump reaches out dramatically and shouts, "Peter, grab my hand!" But instead of saving each other, they both lose their hands and plummet straight down, landing on a stunt cushion covered in maple leaves, where Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stands by, watching with the look of a man who's seen too much stupidity for one lifetime.
Justin Trudeau, the hunky Prime Minister of Canada?
He's not that hunky. Very weak borders. I was just kayaking past, and it looked like you guys could use some help.
In the end, the Griffins return to their old home in Quahog, tired but relieved. Peter sits back on the couch, turns on the TV, and smiles as he sees himself appear on Jeopardy!
And just in time to see my appearance on Jeopardy!
Peter?
What is it like to have an erection?
I'm sorry, we were looking for the electromagnetic spectrum. Betty, still your board.
I was not included in the final round.
Where the final question might as well be, who fought the President of the United States and survived? Conclusion. The episode Trump Guy had a bold concept and some sharp political satire, but it was criticized for being too long and lacking Family Guy's usual natural absurdity. Instead of feeling like a comedy, much of it felt like watching CNN, if it were directed by the giant chicken. Number 4, Season 23, Episode 10. The episode kicks off with Peter discovering his long-lost iPad under the couch, next to a slice of mystery pizza and what might have been Meg's missing hamster. Excited, he dusts it off and shouts, "Lois! Look! Hulu! The place where good shows go to die after 2 seasons!" Then, in true Peter fashion, he decides to click on everything that looks vaguely important. Cue the Hulu logo morphing into Peter's belly button as we dive into Only Murders in the Building, Quahog Edition, Part 1, Only Murders in the Griffin House.
No, this isn't a dark Netflix show, all right? Our murders are solved by the father of the bride.
What am I supposed to do?
I don't know, maybe learn to be a better host. All 4 of your guests are sound asleep.
In this parody, Mabel, Meg, Oliver, Stewie, and Charles, Brian, witness the murder of their neighbor Tim, played, of course, by Peter himself, who dies mid-sandwich. Meg gasps, "Oh my god, someone killed Peter!" Brian, deadpan, or cholesterol finally did its job.
He had one inside.
Looks like someone tried to eat him.
The trio decides to start a true crime podcast, despite having zero experience and even less attention span. They're immediately sidetracked trying to pick a title. Murder? I Hardly Know Her wins after a heated debate and one poorly timed fart joke.
I can be the female on the podcast who laughs at everything the guys say.
Do they always have one of those?
That's hilarious.
A neighbor, Donna, tells them to check apartment 2B, where they meet Jeff, Chris, who's acting suspiciously evil, holding a bloodied spatula and wearing a shirt that literally says, "Definitely not the killer."
You haven't heard anything about Tim's murder, have you?
What? Tim's dead? But he was so delicious. I mean, young. I haven't heard anything.
Naturally, they ignore every red flag.
Are you out of your minds? Jeffrey is obviously the killer. Didn't you see the blood on his shirt? And look at the garbage he left in the hallway.
So he's a little messy. That's no reason to point fingers.
When Donna gets arrested, the trio celebrates with cupcakes and martinis. Until he returns, chloroforms them mid-celebration and mutters, "You guys really are the dumbest podcast hosts on Hulu."
So, Jeff, is there a Mrs. Dahmer?
Ew, no.
Oh, Jeff brought suspiciously fizzy roadies. Here's to a murder well solved.
Cutaway gag, Peter listening to real crime podcasts, falling asleep, and waking up convinced Lois murdered him in a past life. Part 2, The Dropout, Quiznos edition. Next, Lois steps into the spotlight as Elizabeth Holmes, complete with black turtleneck, monotone voice, and unsettling eye contact. She unveils her revolutionary invention, a device that can tell which Sex and the City character you are from a single drop of blood. She calls it karyotype.
With your eyes really wide like a lunatic owl, I'm in.
Science.
I'm thinking maybe one wall.
She founds a company named Quiznos, not to be confused with the sandwich chain, though it still somehow gives everyone diarrhea. But soon, shady businessman Sonny Balwani, Peter, barges in, yelling, "I'm in charge now, and step 1 is adding beer to everything."
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna Google where to put your outside leg during office couch sex. Oh, of course. Never would have thought of that. Elizabeth, can I see you on the office couch for a moment?
At the product demo for Walgreens, the machine completely fails, declaring the CEO to be a Samantha. Lois panics and fakes the results, claiming, "It's just more accurate if you're drinking Cosmopolitans."
Oh yeah, we'll see about that. Meadows' boyfriend Finn? But he's the worst one!
But a nerdy lab tech, Chris, exposes her scam by testing it on himself. The device immediately bursts into flames, yelling, "You're a Miranda, you fraud!"
No, this whole operation has been a sham! And as for you, why did you do it?
Childhood abuse or drug dependency. I'll see what my lawyer tells me to say.
Lois is arrested mid-press conference while Peter waves at the cameras and says, "Invest in Quiznos! Or don't, we're already bankrupt!" Part 3, The Bear, but make it Quahog. Finally, Peter returns as Carmen Berzato from The Bear, moving back to Chicago to run his late brother's Italian beef shop. The restaurant's chaotic, greasy, and suspiciously similar to the Griffin Kitchen.
Bad news, Chef. We're out of, I want to say beef?
Yes, beef. You people are unbelievable.
Oh boy, now what do I do?
Well, if you've got any oven jeans to sell, this is the time.
Behind! Peter yells in chef lingo, bumping into Lois, knocking over a pot, and spilling sauce all over Stewie, who's dressed as a Michelin critic. Stewie, deadpan. "This isn't beef, this is despair in liquid form."
Joe, what are you doing here?
Oh, I heard we were doing a special episode, so I decided to drop in as my favorite FX Next Day on Hulu character, Raylan Givens from Justified City Primeval.
Peter desperately tries to impress a food critic. Again, Stewie, with his modernized recipes. Predictably, it's a disaster. The critic gives him 0 stars, but Chris, the only person watching, claps enthusiastically.
I'm just confused by all of it. When I was a kid, it was just ladies that cooked, and guys with tattoos lived on ships. Okay, that's what makes sense to me.
This has been The Bear.
Conclusion: this episode is Hulu gone wild. 3 mini parodies packed into one chaotic, self-aware fever dream. From true crime to tech scams to overcooked beef, a real Who's Hulu proves that even when Family Guy runs out of ideas, they still manage to make nonsense hilarious.
Number 5, Season 17, Episode 8. The episode kicks off with a peaceful morning in Quahog. Peaceful, that is, until Stewie opens the newspaper and screams, "Oh my god, Brian's dating the Queen of England's grandmother?" Turns out, Brian's in the society pages, arm in arm with a classy old lady who looks rich enough to buy Rhode Island and old enough to have taught Stewie how to change diapers.
Plus, helping you helps me forget my own country's troubles and my struggle to save our national flower, the Masdevallia orchid.
Stewie's jaw drops as he realizes Brian has become a full-time gold digger. Then he notices Brian's wearing a ridiculously expensive and equally outdated pocket watch, the kind that belongs in a museum. Stewie scoffs. Oh, so that's how he affords Gucci cologne for dogs.
I don't know if you've noticed, but the sun's been up for like an hour. No, you don't have to get up. Let your wife do everything. Just keep sleeping. You're a good husband. I'm sure she doesn't fantasize about your contractor who's already downstairs working on... Well, I can't really figure out what he's working on. Oh, I know. Your wife.
Of course, Stewie refuses to let Brian have all the fun. He decides to join the platinum dating market, and the two agree not to sabotage each other, which in Family Guy terms means, let's see who scams the old lady first. Everything goes smoothly, until they both set their sights on the richest woman at the Newport Yacht Club.
My family's back at the den waiting for me. I think this is the day I starve to death. Just kidding, I have no family. But I'm a very involved uncle.
Cut to Brian and Stewie lurking behind a palm tree, watching her while her frail old husband trembles beside her. Stewie whispers, "Brian, do we wait for him to die before we make our move?" Brian replies, "No, we're just casually standing here, like psychos."
It's my favorite charity. I love cats. I've devoted my life to helping them.
I like this party.
Pussies.
Cock.
But the universe loves chaos, because when they finally approach her, the husband turns around and it's Quagmire. Yep, he's married to the rich old lady and waiting for her to kick the bucket too. She likes lace lingerie and telling me about her nighttime skincare routine, Quagmire sighs. I just want peace. He offers them a deal. Speed things up and I'll give you a cut. Otherwise, buzz off.
Listen, rookie, you're out of your league. You think you know how to bang a woman who's seen a dodo bird?
Wait, but how can you be married? You don't even live together.
She's old. She says you weren't here yesterday. I say yes, I was, and that's it.
Soon after, the news reports she's died of a heart attack. Brian and Stewie celebrate with cheap champagne in a bathroom, and Quagmire shows up clapping like a proud dad. Nice work, boys! Here's your share of the estate. But when they meet with the lawyer to sign the papers, everything collapses. The late millionaire owed millions in debt, and now they're legally responsible for it. Stewie reads the contract in horror. Brian, this line says, "We just bought a mansion and $14 billion in back taxes?" Brian groans. And apparently, 50 cats.
We owe money? Look, Stewie, it could be worse. We could be dead like Margaret.
You're right. Poor thing. I guess she just died of natural causes.
Just when things couldn't get worse, the dead rich woman bursts through the door, alive and kicking. She pulls off her disguise, revealing Meg. Surprise! Finally, an episode about me! She yells, dancing across the screen while the in-universe audience claps awkwardly out of pity.
Yes, that's right. It was a Meg story.
Meanwhile, in a subplot that redefines bottom-tier comedy, Lois forces Peter to mow the lawn. Peter reluctantly agrees, but only if Chris helps.
Let me scooch these shorts up a little higher. Look out, elephants!
So, everybody happy they went to the zoo? No? Well, that's the zoo.
Unfortunately, when Herbert spots Peter bending over in shorts, he mistakes him for a teenage boy. Peeking over the fence, Herbert croaks, "Well, hello there. You new in town? Chris, confused, soon realizes Herbert's not looking at him, but at his dad.
Come on, Herbert, rope this calf.
Even after meeting Peter face to face, Herbert still doesn't realize he's an adult. He even offers Chris $600 to have his cute friend mow the lawn again. Peter happily takes the money, completely unaware he's become the target of a senior predator.
Come on, shake your body, baby, to that conga. You know you can't control yourself any longer.
As Herbert's obsession grows, Chris starts feeling left out. Dad, he's staring at your butt, Chris yells. Peter shrugs. Hey, at least someone appreciates it. Things escalate fast when father and son start fighting right in front of Herbert, tearing Peter's clothes off in the process. Herbert's eyes go wide.
Boo, cocky!
Then his heart gives out as Chris screams, "Stop it, Dad!" Realizing he's been crushing on a middle-aged man, Herbert lets out a Darth Vader style "No!" before collapsing.
Well, he often said he wanted to explode all over me. He finally did.
But it's not over. His dog Jessie picks up a small piece of Herbert and plants it in the ground. The episode ends with a baby Groot-like Herbert sprouting from the soil, cheerfully singing, "I am old."
I am Herbert. I am Herbert. I am Herbert.
Final verdict. This episode is peak Family Guy chaos. Absurd, twisted, and proudly nonsensical. Between Herbert turning into Groot and Meg faking her own death to become rich, the plot is so overloaded with twists that by the end, no one remembers how it started. In short, it's 20 minutes of laughter, confusion, and the haunting realization that you just watched a sitcom somehow combine taxes, necromancy, and uncomfortable age gaps. Number 6. Season 13, Episode 12. The episode kicks off on a seemingly normal morning at the Griffin house, with Stewie strolling into the living room like a tiny dictator declaring war on boredom. "Brian, let's hang out. I want to discuss philosophy, the meaning of life, and also why you still haven't paid the water bill." Brian, sipping his martini like the lazy novelist he is, doesn't even look up. "Can't, kid. I've got a date. With a purebred..."
Jill had a tooth fall out and she swallowed it, and then we had to root through her feces to find it. And we did. And then we took it to the dentist and he put it back in her mouth. So I guess we're both klutzes, huh? Why don't you spin another tale, crap tooth? No? My turn again? Okay. Jill's barren.
Stewie freezes, his little heart breaking faster than Lois's wallet on Black Friday. Looking out the window, he spots Joe and Bonnie doting on baby Susie, and suddenly a light bulb flickers above his evil genius head. If having a kid brought them closer, then I'll have one with Brian.
We're going to have a baby! I say, this is my best idea since I robbed a Joseph A. Bank. 3 suits for $99? Take me to jail!
So naturally, Stewie goes full mad scientist. Down in his basement lab, he extracts Brian's DNA, don't ask from where, you don't want to know, and injects it into himself, grinning maniacally. This is for friendship, and for science, that should probably be illegal.
Goodbye, body. You're gonna watch me get pregnant. I want to look at you when it happens. Yeah, you watch me, bitch.
When Brian finds out, he nearly drops his martini. You're what? Stewie, this isn't bonding. This is National Geographic The Crimes Edition. He pleads with Stewie to end it, but Stewie just smirks. Sorry, Brian, but I'm not the kind of guy who gives up on family or weird genetic experiments.
I think you mean, what have we done? What? Brian, we're pregnant. Oh my God! And in 18 years, he's going to move away.
Weeks pass and Stewie goes through a full pregnancy arc. Mood swings, weird cravings, and late-night peanut butter cravings that even Brian's patience can't handle. Brian, now a reluctant co-parent, drives him to prenatal appointments.
That's odd. Your vagina seems to have a penis and 2 testicles.
Oh, right. I sneezed real hard and all that came out.
Ah, that explains it.
Shops for baby clothes, and even takes maternity photos. In one of them, Stewie poses with a hand on his belly while Brian stares at the camera like he's regretting every life choice since 2005.
How old are you?
How old are you? You look like you're 40, which means whatever you've got in there is 100% brain damaged. All right, you have a good day. I hated that lady.
Then, in true Family Guy fashion, chaos strikes at McBurgertown. While munching a burger, Stewie gasps, "Brian, my water just broke." Brian freaks out and speeds toward the hospital, only to hit rush hour traffic. He's forced to deliver the baby in the car. But when he catches the first newborn, another one follows. And another. And another. Suddenly, the car looks like a factory for cursed Beanie Babies.
This hurts too much! Holy what is happening? I don't know! Brian, save the placenta! Do you even have a placenta? Whatever comes out, save it. I want to eat it. Oh God, they're crawling all over me!
Cut to the next scene, Stewie and Brian trying to raise a literal litter of Stewie-Brian hybrids, each one stranger than the last. One has Brian's nose, one has Stewie's football head, and one somehow sounds exactly like Morgan Freeman. Stewie beams with pride. Brian, behold, the future of evolution! Brian, doing mental math on how much formula costs, just mutters, the future of bankruptcy, maybe.
You go? Oh, Dick really likes you.
I like Dick.
Aha, you like Dick! His name's not Dick, you idiot, it's Finn.
At the park, they realize half the pups have deformities, side effects of, well, questionable science. Both start panicking about the medical bills. Brian suggests taking a break, but by then they both know it's over. In one final act of mercy and moral collapse, they leave the hybrid pups at an animal shelter. The sign reads, "We take anything that has ears and makes noise."
I'm still keeping all the gifts from the baby shower.
You had a baby shower?
Oh, now this makes it real. Oh my goodness, that's enough cake for you, Mary Beth.
Brian sighs. At least they're safe now. Stewie deadpans. Yeah, until someone mistakes them for alien test subjects. And just like that, they head home, pretending none of this ever happened. Meanwhile, in the completely unrelated B-plot, Peter and Joe decide to make a viral video. After hours of terrible brainstorming, they shoot one where Joe imitates random people and a monkey watches a frog dance at a bar.
Bingo!
I'm concerned that frog's in more trouble than she realizes.
YouTube deletes it instantly, but moments later, the local news airs footage of Chris awkwardly crossing a street, and somehow he becomes Quahog's first viral celebrity.
He's got to get moving now. That's right. Don't let your chocolate levels get too low.
Review. This episode is Family Guy at its weirdest. Part horror, part comedy, and entirely disturbing. The Brian Stewie baby arc manages to be both hilarious and stomach-turning, especially the childbirth scene that probably ruined dinner for half the audience. In short, it's 20 minutes of chaos that makes you laugh, gag, and wonder, am I watching a cartoon or a biology lesson gone horribly wrong? Number 7. Season 12, Episode 14. The episode opens with Chris, as usual, trying to drag his dad out of his sacred trinity of couch, TV, cold beer for some quality father-son time. "Dad, I think we should hang out," Chris says with the excitement of a puppy that just got fed. Peter doesn't even look up, raises his beer can, and grumbles, "Sure, buddy, we can do that. In your imagination."
Pinwheels! Pinwheels in my head! Voices! Angry fish!
How's he doing?
Not good. He still thinks this is practice of some sort.
But fate, or more precisely a slippery mall floor, decides otherwise. Carter Pewterschmidt, the Griffin family's wealthy grandpa, slips, falls, and breaks his leg right in front of an Apple store.
None of the other boys are wearing corduroys. I want dungarees.
You're going to get hurt doing that.
No, I'm not. I'm the champ at doing this. Ow! You jinxed me! Ah, damn it! Hey, call that beeping cart that carries around the fat black people.
With Babs out of town and Lois too busy, the family scrambles to find someone to watch over him. And in a twist so predictable it hurts, the only one available is Meg. But since Meg has to work, the job lands squarely on Chris, the big, clueless, but well-meaning teenage son.
Close the door, the moonlight burns. It's almost Christmas. It's almost Christmas. Christmas? Yes, keep being good, and all the eggshells and coffee grounds will be yours. Can I meet the family? You've overstepped. No Christmas.
What no one expects is that Carter and Chris actually get along. Carter, who usually looks down on the Griffins like they're the off-brand version of humanity, suddenly finds joy in Chris's simple-minded charm.
Are you gonna pay for the pizza?
Yes, your money is in this pile of mashed potatoes. Eat your way out. No hands. This is fun, Chris. I like hanging out with you. Don't look up. You're not a part of it.
They play golf, watch TV, and Carter even laughs when Chris accidentally gets his head stuck in the fridge.
We're not supposed to be doing this. I bet we're not supposed to be doing this.
Then, in a rare moment of emotion, or maybe heavy painkillers, Carter declares that Chris will be his sole heir.
Listen, Carter, you take me out of your will, I'm taking you out of mine.
Peter, that wasn't your will. That was your birth certificate.
Oh, no. There's no light. There's only fire.
Peter's reaction? He drops his beer, something that, for him, is basically a religious crisis. Furious that his father-in-law would give all that money to Chris, Peter vows to reconnect with his son.
So I can work on finding a cure for Alzheimer's disease.
Peter, are those testicles? When did you get those?
I don't remember.
Or at least get close enough to the inheritance. He starts dressing like Chris, talking like Chris, and even tries to fit in with Gen Z by making a rap TikTok, which fails so spectacularly the algorithm probably deleted itself out of mercy.
Hey, Chris, hey, you remember that kid you said was bullying you at school? Well, here's his head.
Ah! That's not even him. That's the deaf kid.
Oh, that was sign language. I thought he was trying to defend himself with terrible karate.
Despite all his desperate attempts, Chris just keeps avoiding him more. At the Drunken Clam, Peter vents to Joe, Quagmire. The guys listen, mildly horrified, and tell him maybe it's a good thing Chris is finally growing up. But then, Peter's eyes light up with the kind of dumb brilliance that only Peter Griffin can achieve.
Chris Griffin, will you marry me?
What? Is it even legal for a man to marry his son?
It is in Vermont. As long as it's a man and a man, anything goes up there. They're a bunch of liberal degenerates.
He'll marry Chris in Vermont. That way, he'll keep the money in the family. And since Peter never does anything halfway, he's already made Lois sign divorce papers for fun.
Oh, thank God.
No, Dad.
I don't know what normal is anymore.
On the road to Vermont, Chris films everything like it's a reality show. Picking out wedding flowers, registering for gifts, even practicing their first dance. Peter takes it all way too seriously. Chris, I think we should get a 3-tier wedding cake, cause that 3rd tier's gonna be inheritance, baby.
Yes, we did invite a black couple, even though we only met them 3 months ago, but we would like them to be prominently featured to let other guests know how tolerant and wonderful we are.
When the big day comes, Lois bursts into the ceremony like the only sane person in the room, shouting, "Peter, you can't seriously be doing this."
Peter? Peter Griffin?
Oh, God.
Is everyone from your past here to walk you down the aisle?
Chris stops her and in a surprisingly touching speech talks about how he just wanted to spend time with his dad. Not for money, but because he misses him. That hits Peter harder than a falling piano. The man who once sold his soul for a plasma TV suddenly tears up and says, "You know what, son? I remember now why I love you more than Carter's credit card." The two hug, call off the wedding, and drive back to Quahog, as if the whole father-son gay marriage plan never happened.
I did run into Chris again. It was on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. He was with another dad. I was with another son. But it was nice reminiscing about old times. For you kids watching, this is a reference to a Woody Allen movie. He also married one of his children.
Conclusion. The episode mixes humor and sentiment pretty well, but feels a bit lukewarm overall. Some scenes drag, and the father-son marriage gag, while funny on paper, comes off more awkward than outrageous. In short, it's a fun episode, just not crazy enough to be a true Family Guy classic.
Number 8, Season 23, Episode 3. In the episode Drunk with Power, Peter Griffin once again proves that he can turn any career opportunity into a national disaster. Under Preston's orders, Peter is assigned to give tours at the Pawtucket Brewery.
You sneak right in and take all the hamburgers you want.
Rubble.
Hey, man, I thought you just wanted to score some hamburgers. These kids don't have to die, man.
Rubble.
Okay, take it easy. Be cool. I don't want any rubble.
Standing before a group of visitors, he eagerly explains the beer-making process and immediately turns the tour into a comedy show no one asked for. Peter burps between sentences, sprays beer everywhere, and laughs at his own jokes as if he's hosting a charity event. The feedback from the visitors is split right down the middle. Half of them find it funny. The other half thinks someone should call the police.
Hey, shouldn't you be doing the news?
Oh, no, we're doing a best of news bloopers. Now, an update. Apparently, the Touth Sour has just collapsed. Touth Sour? What is it? What Touth? Okay, let's go again. I'm Tom Tower. Holy crap.
After this train wreck of a tour, Peter is given a new task: escort Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh on a tour of the brewery.
Hello, you Judgesty. Peter Griffin.
Hey, just call me Brett. All right, guys, skedaddle.
The problem is, Brett doesn't care about the brewery. He just wants to drink.
I'm so pumped. I've toured every brewery in the country except this one. I love beer!
Yeah, you've screamed that twice now.
I scream it all the time. It's kind of how I got my job.
Me too!
That's awesome! Tour time! I love beer!
Naturally, the two men hit it off instantly, bonding over their eternal love for beer. They drink, laugh, clink their glasses, and inevitably pass out like two warriors defeated by alcohol.
My wife hates you, which kind of makes me secretly like you. Hey, Brett, do you think that we'll still be friends at college?
I don't know, man.
The next morning, Peter wakes up to find Brett gone and a note on the table. I no longer wish to serve as a Supreme Court justice. I have taken my own life. Peter shrugs and says, well, at least he left a note. If Lois left me, she wouldn't even bother.
All right, let's get him back to the Supreme Court of the United States of America, where he serves a lifetime appointment as one of only 9 Senate-confirmed justices.
It's so cool that a guy named Brett gets to decide if women can have abortions.
Through a series of very Family Guy-style misunderstandings, Peter is escorted back to Washington, mistaken for the real Brett Kavanaugh, and somehow becomes a sitting Supreme Court justice. Even more surprisingly, his new colleagues love him, probably because they've never met a judge who hides beer cans under his robe.
Hey, how about today we eat at the mall?
Okay, Clarence. There's never going to be a better setup to make a Supreme Food Court joke. Here goes.
Hey, if we're going to the mall, how about we eat at the Supreme Food Court?
Brian, as usual, is the only one who realizes how serious this is. He warns Peter that he's expected to vote on a case that could overturn same-sex marriage. Peter, still tipsy, asks, do they serve snacks at the hearing?
Peter, would you stop playing with filters and listen to me?
Okay, I've taken my filters off.
Peter.
What? I've just been drinking a lot of water.
Do you have an OnlyFans?
I just sent you a DM. My wish list is in my bio.
Meanwhile, the real Brett, whom everyone assumes is dead, is wandering around Quahog. He runs into Joe, Cleveland, and Quagmire, and it takes them less than 5 minutes to induct him into the club for men who drink to forget they have responsibilities. The gang spends 3 straight days drinking and even enters a wet t-shirt contest. Joe wins because his wheelchair has a spray function.
Wet t-shirt contests have rules. That's all that separates us from animals.
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
I just need to make a brief, passionate speech.
Okay, I'll come back.
But then, Brett has a breakdown, realizing he can't choose between his love for the law and his love for beer, yet he can't live without either. Quagmire comforts him with a classic line, hey, don't be sad, at least you remember what you did. I don't.
And getting blackout drunk 24/7. But I don't have to choose. I can do both. I can do both!
Brett, you're peeing on yourself.
Back in Washington, Peter applies Quahog logic to the American legal system. If marriage causes arguments, then the fairest solution is to ban marriage for everyone.
But also, all people are equal under the law, which is why we must not only ban gay marriage, we have to ban straight marriage.
Let's do it! I hate my crazy wife!
He proudly declares, if everyone's miserable, everyone's equal. Half the judges nod approvingly. The other half quietly pour whiskey into their coffee.
I did it!
I spoke!
Clarence, you forgot your lunch.
Thanks, baby.
It sucks that this is the only hat to overthrow democracy in.
Just before the vote, Brett returns, sober and ready to reclaim his life. He takes back his position, and Peter is kicked out of the court. But before leaving, Peter turns around and delivers one final line. If two people can still want to get married while drunk, that's true love. Somehow, that ridiculous statement ends up saving same-sex marriage.
Then why let gay people sleep in, have their own bathrooms, and eat every meal at a bistro? Why should gays get to wear white jeans, host the Tonys, and have endless casual sex? You want to take away their freedom? Let them get married.
Drunk with Power is a perfectly chaotic Family Guy episode. Absurd, biting, and full of beer-fueled nonsense. It pokes fun at politics, the justice system, and Peter himself, a man who can somehow dismantle any institution with nothing but a six-pack. It may not have a clear moral, but it'll make you laugh at just how far pure idiocy can go when Peter Griffin's holding the bottle.
No, we just accept that anyone could get shot anywhere at any time.
Well, as long as my beloved Republican Party is still upholding the traditions of Honest Abe.
Number 9, Season 17, Episode 16. This episode kicks off with Family Guy at its most meta. Peter and Lois are sitting in a recording booth, doing commentary for a Family Guy DVD episode. Peter's munching chips, scratching his belly, and going, "Oh yeah, I remember this one. The episode where I threw Meg down the stairs and said it was a metaphor for personal growth. Classic."
There's a secretary looking for reassurance about her overly short haircut.
I saw it in a magazine. I needed a fresh start. Stop pretending to stare at your phones and just say you hate it.
Sir, I am trying to read.
During the session, their paychecks come in, and Lois suddenly realizes Peter gets paid way more than she does. Peter casually shrugs. "Well, I gotta pay alimony to my ex-wife." Lois freezes. Ex-wife? And right on cue, because it's Family Guy, the door bursts open and in walks Sarah Paulson, playing Peter's supposed ex.
Peter, you were married before?
We actually freelance all our explosion animation.
Who are you again?
I'm Shannon Smith.
Shannon, take a lap.
Never go to church.
She joins the commentary session like she owns the studio. The two women immediately start arguing. Sarah sneers, "I'm the real one in this relationship," and Lois snaps back, "At least I don't cry every time I win an Emmy." Peter tries to mediate, but Lois storms out, dropping a nuclear line behind her. Maybe Philip Seymour Hoffman is actually Chris's father. She slams the door, leaving Peter frozen while Meg asks, "Wait, who's that guy again?" The commentary goes completely off the rails.
Don't you know a lot of discarded electronics end up in the ocean and kill sea turtles?
Well then, let's cut out the middleman. I'm sorry, there's a new phone.
Peter, Meg, and Chris awkwardly try to keep talking about the show when suddenly, BAM! Seth MacFarlane and the real Family Guy cast appear out of nowhere. Seth casually says, "You're not real. We just voice you." Peter looks around panicking. Wait, if I'm not real, then who drank all the beer in my fridge? Lois comes back just in time to learn that their entire world is animated. After a brief existential crisis straight out of a discount Pixar movie, she sighs. Well, if we're just drawings, might as well enjoy it. At least here, I don't have to do laundry. The family hugs, emotional music swells, and Stewie mutters, "Touching." But did anyone remember to turn Seth MacFarlane off? Just when you think the episode's over, Family Guy hits the gas on chaos with a completely unrelated follow-up. New phone, who dis? Peter proudly shows off the brand new Crabapple 15 Max Pro Deluxe Limited phone, acting like he invented technology itself. It's got 4 cameras, an AI that insults me when I text Meg, and it knows when I'm drunk. Lois crosses her arms. "And what are you gonna use it for?" Peter grins. "To ignore you better." The family gets hopelessly addicted to their phones, so distracted they don't even notice Jesus Christ having a meltdown at church because no one's paying attention anymore. Cutaway gag. Jesus scrolling TikTok, watching baptism water reviews before smashing his phone in rage.
Hey Chris, here's your paycheck.
Yeah, that gets forwarded right to DraftKings.
What's going on in there, Ollie?
He came back!
How is he?
Man!
Thanks, Ollie.
Let's get out of here, other altar boys!
Fed up, Lois drags everyone to Old Sturbridge Village, a colonial reenactment town with zero Wi-Fi and maximum boredom.
Welcome to Old Sturbridge Village, everyone. Here's a fun fact. In colonial times, butter and soap were the same thing.
I get that it's a fact, but how is it fun? Oh my god!
Peter fakes being sick to stay home, a strategic move that backfires when he drops a meatball on the stairs, bends down to grab it, and gets his head stuck in the railing. Cutaway. The meatball falls in slow motion with dramatic opera music playing.
Uh-oh. I think I'm stuck.
Oh, right. This is where the fat man got stuck in the banister slats.
When the family returns, they find Peter still trapped and yelling as if it's everyone else's fault. In trying to help him, each one of them manages to get their head stuck too. A true Griffin family achievement. Then a delivery guy shows up, seemingly to rescue them. But nope, he's a burglar casing the house. He even invites his thief buddies over for a party.
All right, you guys. Who's ready to have some fun?
Hey, Brian, they used your account to buy a karaoke machine.
Halfway down the stairs.
And she said no one would know that song. Well, look, the burglars know it.
Desperate, the Griffins use the Crabapple's voice command to call for help, but the AI keeps misunderstanding. Peter yells, "Call for rescue!" and the phone responds, "Playing Careless Whisper." Chris immediately starts dancing. Eventually, they manage to contact Quagmire, who sends a group of carpenters. The carpenters arrive, take one look at the staircase, and realize it's a valuable colonial artifact. So they unbolt it and move it to Old Sturbridge Village as a museum piece, leaving the Griffins hanging there as part of the new exhibit titled Modern Family Trapped by Technology.
Which was oddly brought by the Swedes during the Great Depression, which for those of you who are too young, was like a decade-long case of the Mondays.
Well, I'm guessing you folks are from out of town, too.
I never got that joke.
Final thoughts. This episode is Family Guy at its chaotic best. Part meta-comedy, part physical stupidity. The first half breaks the fourth wall so hard it might as well destroy the entire show, and the second half traps the whole family in a staircase. It's nonsensical, self-aware, and brilliantly idiotic. In short, Family Guy admits it's not real, and somehow that makes it the realest thing they've ever done. Number 10, Season 12, Episode 6. This episode, Season 12, Episode 6, Life of Brian, starts off like your typical Family Guy sci-fi chaos. Brian and Stewie are in the middle of a full-blown action sequence, Indiana Jones style, racing a Jeep through the woods while being chased by a bunch of angry Native Americans. Stewie's screaming, "They're gaining on us, Brian!" And Brian's like, well, maybe if you didn't stop for Starbucks in the 17th century.
Oh, come on, Brian, let's be honest. I frequently alter the past.
All right, so I guess we'll split the bill 13 ways?
Hey, Judas, he ordered like 5 margaritas. All you had was a salad.
They narrowly escape, and Brian casually drops the bomb that this might actually be their fault. Turns out, during a previous time travel trip to Jamestown, they accidentally gave the Native Americans guns, which, surprise, ended up being used to wipe out the settlers.
Don't give them any money. They're just gonna spend it all on deviled eggs.
But before he can fix things, he realizes his return pad is riddled with bullet holes. Yep, time travel device, totally ruined. So, being the genius baby he is, Stewie decides there's only one person who can help him. Himself. They find their way to an alternate version of the Griffin house, where a different Stewie is chillin' like he's on summer break.
How was work today?
Oh, it was so annoying. Everyone was coming around with their daughters selling Girl Scout corn. Made me feel so guilty. I had to buy like 20 ears.
Hey, shot in the dark, but is anyone else in the mood to run really fast in one direction?
This other Stewie helps them fix the mess, and they manage to snag a new return pad and head back to Jamestown. The moment their past selves leave, they swoop in, grab the guns, and return home, successfully undoing the historical disaster. After all that chaos, Stewie's like, okay, I've learned my lesson. No more time travel, and proceeds to obliterate his time machine with the kind of satisfaction you only see from people deleting their ex's number.
Wow, good timing, little fella. This just came out today.
Yeah, I kind of knew that already.
Would you like to donate an extra $1 to the Quahog Food Bank?
Oh, sure. And would you like to come home and clean my toilet? while we're both doing stuff for each other?
He even drags the remains to the junkyard and crushes them for good measure. While there, he and Brian find a street hockey net and decide to bring it home for exercise, which in Family Guy terms means a setup for tragedy.
Women, we have spent decades fighting for our right to vote. So when you go to those booths and cast your ballot, remember, Warren G. Harding is way the cutest!
Sure enough, as Brian's setting it up, a car plows right into him. Boom. Brian's down, the hockey net's mangled, and Stewie's left screaming in horror.
Brian, can you hear me?
Holy crap, what the hell happened?
That guy sucked.
Cut to the vet's office. Brian's on the table, barely alive, delivering a heartfelt monologue that could make even Peter tear up, if Peter wasn't already, asking how much the cremation costs. Brian tells them he loves his family, then quietly passes away.
You've given me a wonderful life. I love you all.
The Griffins are devastated. Stewie blames himself and immediately tries to rebuild his time machine to save Brian. But when he goes to buy the parts, the store clerk says they don't make those components anymore, because apparently the universe decided grief needed a warranty expiration date. As the family holds a funeral for Brian, everyone's heartbroken, and for the first time, Family Guy feels genuinely emotional. Like, no joke, even the cutaway gags take a break to cry.
We're all gonna miss him, Peter. We're all gonna miss him very much.
Damn it, Ortiz, stop swinging at junk.
Fast forward a month later, Lois tries to convince everyone to adopt a new pet. Peter's hesitant, but what if the next one doesn't drink martinis? But they go to a pet store anyway, and that's where they meet Vinny, an Italian talking dog with a deep voice and even deeper emotional baggage. Peter immediately likes him because Vinny can cook and curse in Italian. So boom, new family member acquired.
Hey, just out of curiosity, what breed are you?
Actually, I'm a pussy hound.
Really? All right.
That just means I'm 1/16th cat.
Oh, I wish you hadn't told me that.
Back home, Vinny tries his best to win everyone over. He cooks dinner, tells jokes, and even joins Peter and the gang at the Drunken Clam, instantly becoming part of the crew. But Stewie? Nope. The kid's still mourning Brian and sees Vinny as a walking betrayal with fur.
I don't know, fat man. I think you're jumping the gun. I mean, crucifixion seemed great at first, too.
Why are you doing that?
Because I'm mad at this guy.
I'm mad at this jar of pickles I can't open.
Nail it up.
He tries to sabotage him by making Italian jokes and fake news stories about bad pasta imports. But Chris ruins the plan by being, well, Chris.
Chris, what are you doing?
Call me a creep, you piece of crap!
Vinny catches Stewie crying. Instead of getting angry, he sits down and opens up, telling Stewie that he also lost his former owner and knows exactly how it feels to lose someone you love. Suddenly, the walls come down. Stewie realizes Vinny isn't a replacement, he's just another soul trying to heal. They share a quiet moment, and when Stewie goes to bed, Vinny tucks him in, promising, "Don't worry, kid, I'll be here."
Good night, Vinny.
Good night, Stewie.
Hey, you guys know which room is Peter's?
Across the hall.
Ah, it's too bright in there. Never mind.
And that's how the episode ends. Not with a fart joke, but with one of the most unexpectedly emotional moments in Family Guy history. Final thought. Life of Brian is one of the rare Family Guy episodes where they trade chaos for heartbreak, then still manage to make you laugh through tears. It's weird, it's tragic, it's emotional, and it somehow made everyone on the internet cry over a cartoon dog who once wrote a book called Wish It, Want It, Do It.